Yeah, so I just got back from the doctor. Said that I tore my MCL and it's going to take about 6 to 8 months to heal. I know I can do it, so I definitely want to go back.
And now, introducing from Sweden, the high wire artiste extraordinaire.
This is Ali Boulala, a Swedish-born skater who made a name for himself in the earliest days of the street skating scene with his outlandish personality, technical skill, and inventive sets that specifically focused on using unusual terrain and making use of locations that most others ignored. Though his skill and style were enough to see him gaining notoriety, it was his absolute fearlessness to tackle any challenge that would ultimately see him on the world stage. While most professional skateboarders often gain recognition from the big tricks that they land, Bulala's first big claim to fame came simply from being brave enough to fail.
When I first seen the stairs, I thought it looked visually amazing. Like, I knew that it was going to look cool on film. That was my first thought, because it was really, really high and long. So I knew that it would be a big, huge flight time. So I just jumped on my board and tried, and I flew in the air. I'm thinking in the air like, oh my God, this is way bigger than I imagined. Like, I'm flying. And then, plow, the board just snapped.
Over nearly a dozen attempts to land his most ambitious feat to date, all of them ended in failure. But while a hard crash on what many thought to be an impossible jump would be enough to scare off anyone from trying it again, Bulala would return only 2 short days later. This time with enough spare skateboards to ensure that these stairs would have to break his body if they wanted him to stop. And so, Lyon 25 offered the exact response that many were expecting.
Then it came time to try it again, and so we went there. And then the second time that day that I tried it, I didn't get enough speed, so I kicked the board away and got really hurt. And I thought that was it, you know, it's over. And it was. I never tried it again.
While Ali would physically recover from his failed attempt in due time, its failure would stay with him mentally for some time to come. But to understand why Lyon 25 became the icon it is today, it helps to understand what makes this jump such an incredible monster. Many iconic stairs or gaps in the lore of skateboarding culture have provided impressive visuals that are a feast for the eyes and excite the senses. But Lyon has become a legend for a much different reason: math. If you talk to professionals in the field of physics, the problem that Lyon 25 presents becomes clear. This beast of a jump is 15 feet high. It's 22 feet long. That's like covering the distance of the world record long jump out of a second-story window. And if the sheer scale of this staircase isn't enough to be impressive, it turns out that its dimensions are the easy part, because the hardest part of any jump is, of course, the landing. However, when we take the dimension and scale into account, we find that a skateboarder of Ali's weight lands with enough force to instantly generate over 13,000 newtons of force, which means the force that he feels as soon as his wheels touch the ground is as if 19 more copies of him were standing on his shoulders. When considering the forces involved in the sheer immensity of the challenge, perhaps a skateboard exploding on impact is less of an exception and more of the rule. So as Bulala's attempt began to circulate in skate shops around the world, he received recognition and acclaim just for the attempt itself. But while he had made the spot an overnight icon, it was also understood that no one else was likely to attempt it.
When I first saw Ali try it, the video that he was filming for had just came out, and on the back of the video there's a picture of him trying the stair set, and that was the first time I saw it.
I think the videos are a huge influence because they see these kids doing these tricks and they think, okay, I can do this. And it definitely had a huge impact.
Still doing stuff that baffles what is possible as a human. I really don't understand how he can jump down the things he does and live to do it again.
I was kind of a little kid and I didn't really know what was possible and what was not possible. I just thought it was awesome that somebody hucked their body down that thing. And it was just like the most coolest thing to me. That was my favorite thing that inspired me. If Ali didn't try that, it still wouldn't be done. I would not have done it. I would go there and go, no, I don't want to do this. But he opened the door.
So it took 2 separate trips. The first trip, it was just me, a filmer, a photographer, and we had 3 days. 1 day travel, next day try it, next day leave. It was maybe like 7 or 8 tries, cracked my board, set up a new fresh board, and sure enough, it exploded upon impact. Did the splits, ended up tearing my MCL, and then went home with a bum knee. Granted, I'm here in Arizona, flying to France, sitting on a plane for 9, 10 hours, just like sitting there like, cool, like I gotta come back and try this one day.
Following only a short 6-month recovery, Jaws would return to training with the hopes that he would one day soon be able to return to Lyon and prove to himself that the 25 could be conquered. Armed with an arsenal of braces and support tape, he felt his body would be able to survive another attempt. As a skater known for his massive drops that put his boards to the test, his sponsor Birdhouse made a special board with a built-in fiberglass reinforcement to ensure the board could handle the impact. And in what could only be described as fate, Jaws' sponsor Skate Mental reached out offering to sponsor a trip back across the pond to finally put the challenge of Lyon to rest. However, this time, instead of going with a small team, he would be joined by Thrasher's production crew, his father, and a special guest that would be looking to cheer him on.
And the first time I met Ali was in Lyon at the stair set.
Oh, there was at the stairs?
Was it?
The meeting? I don't know either. That would be cool though if it was.
I think
let's say that it was.
It might have been like at the stairs.
And then the day came. 2 legends stood at the peak of a mountain that must be descended for one to emerge on top. One looking back on what could have been, the other looking forward to what could still be. And after some prodding and testing to ensure he was ready, Jaws hugged his dad and prepared himself to step forward into history.
Yeah. Yes. Let's do it. Don't feel too bad. Okay. It's so much hang time, dude. Take it up right here. Come on.
Jaws didn't succeed on his first attempt. He also didn't succeed on his second. And without the speed he needed on his third attempt, he bailed out to reset again.
When Aaron's in his zone, you can't really get him out of it. There's no conditions that can stop him unless somebody physically stops him.
And with only outside forces being able to stop Jaws, on his fourth attempt, the universe did.
Il s'est fait pas mal, monsieur. Monsieur est professionnel.
Arrêtez, s'il vous plaît.
Building security had put their foot down, and Jaws' window for redemption had closed. After attempting to return the next day and being denied access once more, a plan was hatched to find a solution. While Jaws and most of the team would wait anxiously in their hotel rooms, the film crew showed Jaws was in the latest Tony Hawk video game. They outlined the historical significance of the attempt and confirmed the production was set to fly home the next day. And after long discussions and a rumored payment to buy a small window of time, word came back that Jaws would be allowed one more opportunity, but with a catch. He would only have 1 hour.
All right, Ali. Give me that. Right here, dude. You psyched? Ready?
First try, baby.
Oh, you do.
First try.
Yo, dude!
Right here.
You don't just give up after 10 times because you don't do it. Sometimes it takes years until you land a trick. Years until you land a trick.
He won't quit, and I mean that's the mark of someone who is going to see it through no matter what.
You fail. You have to almost fail so many times.
That's gonna help.
All right, Mel.
Right here, let's do this.
On, dude.
You got it.
It's on.
You know what you did wrong, and then you do it again, and you do it again, and again, and finally make it.
I don't mind pressure. If it's coming to you, just take it one step at a time.
After 12 failed attempts and time spent to repair a broken wheel, time was up. Jaws would have one more chance.
This one's it! Right here! Yeah!
So it's like this brief moment of existence where time doesn't matter. When you imagine something for so long and then it actually happens, it doesn't feel real. It feels like you're dreaming. And I'm not even kidding, when I ran over here, I sat in that corner and cried for like 3 minutes.
Now I can go to the people that told me, like, dude, you're fucking crazy, it's not possible. Well, look what just happened.
I feel like I'm on the tail end of my career where like I did have my peak. With the skating I've done, I am super happy. And like I said, I did the best that I could. I think the highlight for me was doing that 25 stair. I think that that was definitely like the biggest thing that I've done, the biggest thing that I will do. It makes me sad a little bit for sure because I obviously still want to jump, but I've made my mark and I'm happy with the outcome. I don't need to jump anymore.